For episode 10 of season 4, we will be featuring stories from the pages of the Nichi Bei News. Tonight, our media chefs have crafted a full menu that highlights health and other stories of interest to our Japanese and Japanese American community. For our pastry selection, we celebrate a summer Japanese cultural program in Sacramento celebrating their 50th anniversary. For our salad selection, we interview a high school student about her children's book about two sisters who illustrate common parental and societal pressures that Asian American kids face growing up. For our chef special, we interview an Oakland brick-and-mortar entrepreneur of Japanese ancestry who was diagnosed with lung cancer and how it was detected under unique circumstances. And for our dessert, we honor a legacy business in San Francisco's Japantown celebrating their 100th year in business, becoming the oldest current legacy business in Japantown. And of course, stick around to be treated to some news bites of happenings in our Japanese and Japanese American community. And finally, we end the program tonight with tips of events that are coming up in the next month and beyond. So without further delay, let's start the cafe. Hi everyone, and welcome back to episode 10 of season 4 of the Nichi Bei Cafe. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and supporting us on this journey of documenting Japanese and Japanese American lifestyle. Today our chefs will be serving up some nice segments, so let's go. Starting off with our pastry selection tonight, our contributing writer and videographer Heather Ito went to Jankenpo Gakko, a Japanese summer cultural program serving the greater Sacramento area for over 50 years. This year, they are celebrating their golden 50th anniversary. Please enjoy.
Jankenpo Gakko, a Japanese-American cultural program for children based in Sacramento, California, celebrated its 50th anniversary this year. The popular 3-week summer program was the first of its kind in California, formed in 1976 by a group of Sansei parents who wanted their kids to learn about the Japanese culture.
It was because we felt that we didn't have the knowledge to pass on to our kids. Most of us were children of incarceration, survivors. And so we had to experience the whole notion of the government labeling us enemy alien. So it just had quite a bit of impact, particularly for me.
So as parents, some of our friends and colleagues started asking about why do we have to wait till the kids get to college to honor and learn and appreciate their Japanese culture. And as good Sansei Japanese Americans, next thing I knew, there was a meeting.
We had our first planning meeting in her office. That's where we selected a name. Significantly, the biggest part was we want kids to learn in a fun atmosphere. So that's why the Jankenpo was selected. We said, well, let's see what the community thinks. And so we put out a flyer and we just distributed word for mouth and by the churches. We were floored. There were about 55 families that showed up. And they said, we want to do it. We want to be on the waiting list. We sat back and said, oh my gosh. But it was so encouraging that there were all these others who wanted the same thing.
Their first program director was Wilfred Hokama, an early childhood education college student. When he graduated from university the following year and had to find a job, a legend in the Nikkei space filled the director role.
Just what happened was recently retired was Mary Tsukamoto. It was the person we were all waiting for. Mary was phenomenal. The program was run like an open assembly. And if you even see photographs of the open assembly, you see the kids. She's standing here and the kids are here, but in the back, it's all of us. We couldn't wait to hear what she had to say because it was like she was opening doors for us too. So like I said, We thought it was for the kids, but we were learning alongside.
Learning for children and parents alike continues to this day.
You know, I've been a part of this program for so many years, but I learn something every day. And I think that's a great place to be, is when you continuously learn in a very comforting, very inviting environment.
Today, the program is separated by grade level, 1st through 6th grade, with different topics taught at each level.
First graders do, it's me and my family. They learn about food, they learn about clothing, family members, they learn about colors. Second grade is all about festivals. Third grade is visual and performing arts. They learn how to play taiko drums. Fourth graders, they learn about geographical Japan, and they learn about kokeshi dolls, superstitions. Fifth grade is all about internment time period.
Half the camp turned out to watch the teams that Benny had organized.
This poem is inspired by my grandpa, infant, born in camp. Told me Tule Lake is home. It was all I knew. A gray life I didn't choose. Childhood I don't remember.
And then sixth grade is modern Japan and the influences of Japan on the U.S. I think food is very popular.
It's definitely a favorite among the kids.
Another favorite thing, excuse me. Food. The food. Noodles.
What was your favorite part?
Making mochi.
Making mochi. Why is that?
Because I get to eat it.
This is J-Sei Gakko student Riley Yet with her mother, Ashley Lewis, and her great-grandmother, former California Museum docent Frances Lee, who used to teach cooking at Gakko in the early 2000s.
Riley is I'm only a quarter Japanese, so she's only an eighth Japanese. I just wanted her to have the cultural experience, but really understanding the history behind our family and Japanese American culture. I don't know of any other program like this where my daughter is so excited to come back every year. And it's just like she picked up where she left off and she seems proud to be Japanese.
It's just nice for them to learn about the Japanese culture. You know, very small percentage of whole Japanese people. So I just think that they come together just for a 3-week period and they're just immersed in this program, learning about all these things that maybe they wouldn't get anyplace else.
Next summer, Yep will learn about Japanese American incarceration.
Granny was in the camp.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited to learn about that?
Yes.
To learn about Grandma's experience?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we go to the California Museum and the Uprooted exhibit is there, so it.
Melissa Nishio has been the Gakko 5th grade teacher for 12 years.
We try to teach a lot ahead of time, so some of the stuff is new, but some things are review for them. But yeah, they don't get bored. I think they like it. I think seeing the actual or seeing a situation, kind of like the barracks, is moving for them. The chamber pot is always the biggest deal. There's usually 1 or 2 kids every year where the grandparents or the parents will come and say they're so interested now, getting to talk to their grandparent or finding out they have a connection and learning this thing they didn't know is really, they're reading about it.
Starting next summer, Gakko will expand its program to accommodate more older students.
We're excited about adding 7th, 8th, and 9th officially. We're excited about going ahead and giving more responsibility to 10th, 11th, 12th graders and into college. We're excited to see the program grow and expand and just incorporate more kids.
But I'm so glad that the program is going strong and that they've even added the added grades. And so I think that that's even better than ever.
I feel really proud to be part of it. I feel really connected to the community in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. So I feel like it's given me a lot of my sense of identity at this point, because I feel more, like I said, connected to being Japanese American than I had growing up.
It is pretty remarkable. You know, when we started in 76, 50 years, that would have been like a dream. Never thought it would last, but I guess it tells you that there is still a need. But yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled that I could be a part of it. I mean, it's and I think more than that, to me, Gakko represented, I think, my own journey to identify and to capture my own Japanese culture. So this was a positive thing for me. So for me, it's a part of me, and it really, my heart, I guess.
Thanks to Heather and the wonderful people at Jankenpo Gakko for that segment. For our salad selection tonight, our Nichi Bei News writer Derek Tahara and our assistant producer Max Nihei visit with Aiden Qian, who has written a children's book, In Tune, which tells a story of two sisters, one with artistic leanings and the other a stereotypical straight-A student, who find themselves finding similar paths and the lessons of discovery that they experience. Please enjoy.
We sat down with Adelyn Qian, a student at Woodside Priory School in Portola Valley, to discuss her new children's book, In Tune. Written by Adelyn and Emily Chow, illustrated by Jackie Chuang and Jane Zhao. She shares with us the process of creating the book and the message she wants readers to take from it.
My friend, she actually graduated from Priory 2 years ago, but all the people who collaborate on this book knew each other through the school. Both of us really just wanted to create a meaningful project that would not only serve our community, but also really represent the interests and passions that we knew that we wanted to bring awareness to just AAPI issues and just kind of challenge assumptions and break stereotypes. So
in April 2023, Adelyn and Emily started brainstorming the book's storyline. When co-illustrator Jane joined in, they started meeting during school breaks to work on the book. They then reached out to friends and family for feedback before starting the illustrations.
Like I did the initial sketches and she would like fill it in with like the colors and stuff, and she did a great job in just bringing our characters into life. Ultimately, we ended up publishing early this summer in June of 2025. But I think the process itself as a whole, like it really like allowed me to grow as just like someone who's like independent. I think in high school there's often a lot of projects that you have to undertake yourself, and one especially was just researching the whole marketing and just like getting out to like bookstores and libraries. But yeah, the process took about like 2.5 years, and like of course we're still in it. A lot of just like people at Priory and like others in our community who have been super supportive. They've bought like copies of the book, and all the profits from the book are donated to the SF Asian Women's Shelter and SFAWS, and it helps support victims of domestic abuse for both women and their children, and just provides a lot of literacy organizations. For those who aren't able to afford the book, we do read-alouds at literacy organizations and libraries and across the Bay Area.
They also do collaborations with bilingual literacy programs and dual immersion schools to provide free copies to students.
And so, yeah, it's been incredible to see how just the amount of kids that we've kind of impacted in the sense that they're able to get this copy on this book, which I believe has like a really strong and powerful message, and without their families having to contribute any money. But for the people who do buy the books, we're super grateful for their purchase, as it goes back again to the community in SF for the women's shelter. And so I think it's a really cool cycle that we've got going on.
As of this interview, the book had sold over 560 copies, raising approximately $2,500 for the women's shelter.
So for the organization that we wanted to donate to, it was especially important to all of us that it was a local organization, because our inspiration for the book really came from the Bay Area community. And so I did a lot of research in terms of which organizations were specifically catered to the AAPI community, because the book is about empowering Asian American kids and just shining light into what an Asian identity can be. So having that AAPI criteria for the organization was important, and from there all 4 of us were girls, and one other cause that we've all been really passionate about is women's empowerment. And so we wanted to find an organization that had the intersection of both causes, and so SF Asian Women's Shelter was a great choice. I think it's either Jane or Jackie, who they're the co-authors and illustrators. Like, they've volunteered or visited the shelters before, and it really impacted them because they interacted with the kids and the women there, and they've seen like how the shelter can help kind of uplift them back into community, and they provide like food, and they provide like clothing, and also just the importance of like education to them. And obviously the book serves to kind of educate, and it is a literacy tool. So I think all three kind of causes intersected.
In Tune follows Angela and Celeste, twin sisters who enter a school talent show. In the process, the sisters work out their differences, and their parents learn how to better support their development.
It's a story of them kind of navigating familial expectations as well as expectations they've set upon themselves, and a lot of that was kind of drawn from the Silicon Valley bubble of what it means to kind of define success and what it means to kind of follow your own passions. The sisters find themselves, each other, and also the parents having just a whole new lens of how to best support their kids as they navigate the process of growing up. So it's definitely a coming-to-age story. All three of us kind of drew on our experiences of navigating those like competing expectations, and also what characters we really wanted to see when we were younger. Because I think for all of us, like we didn't really read that many children's books growing up where there were like main spotlights on Asian American characters, and specifically characters that kind of broke the mold of like either being quiet or just like, you know, being amazing at math, or like any of those like labels that they were defined as. The main takeaway I want kids to get from this book is there are going to be times when they have to navigate competing expectations, and I know it's like kind of generic, but to really truly be yourself. Like, don't be who others want you to be, but be who you want to be. And there's always a path for you to, whether that's like the creative route, whether that's like English or music or STEM. Like, if that's what you're truly passionate about, don't change who you are or change what your plans are for the future based on just others' views of you. And I think there's a version of yourself where you're going to be the best person that you can be by finding your own path. So. And I would say to just parents out there, especially with those who have kids like the ages like 4 to like 8 or 10, I think it would be a great book for them to read alongside their kids, and kind of talk about the message together after reading it or along the way, and just gaining new insights, or even affirming what they've thought about the best way of kind of raising their kid in a competitive environment. I think there's kind of a narrow path that many in America and like definitely in the Bay Area have kind of defined it to be, but I think it's really important that the kids kind of find their own voice and that the parents can be there along the way to support them. And finally, to educators, they've mentioned how it's been a really great tool in kind of helping kids navigate just different stereotypes of labeling. It's been a great tool to kind of bridge different divides or just kind of see each other more clearly. And so in the classrooms and at home are both great spaces for the kids to kind of find themselves and see each other's from different backgrounds more clearly.
Well, it's a great story, right? I mean, I think the message that she really delivers in such an inviting and authentic way, I think really is timeless and just speaks to kind of the importance of authenticity, the importance of family, the importance of kind of doing your best, following your interests. I mean, all the things that actually Adelyn does so beautifully, right, on our campus in so many ways.
You can purchase the book In Tune from Amazon in paperback or Kindle edition. Go to their Instagram @InTuneBook for behind-the-scenes info. Proceeds of the book are donated to the SF Asian Women's Shelter. For more info, go to www.sfaws.org.
Thanks to Derek and Max for that segment. For our chef special tonight, our contributing writer Alec Yoshio McDonald and producer Greg Valoria visit Yumi Look, who opened a plant therapy brick and mortar with her husband in Oakland to show how plants can be very therapeutic to people. Yumi also opens up about her struggle with lung cancer during her pregnancy and the uniqueness of her having the illness without any history of smoking. Take a look.
Five years ago, Yumi Look and Matt Day started a plant shop to help people with their mental wellness. That eventually turned into a local thriving brick-and-mortar business in the Rockridge area of Oakland. This year, expecting the new welcome change in their world of their daughter, brought another surprise, the discovery of cancer in Yumi's lung.
So I delivered my baby Mika on April 30th of this year, so just about 5 months ago. And I had a fairly long labor, a really short and sweet delivery, but immediately upon delivery, my placenta did not fully detach from my uterus, and so there was a bit of hemorrhaging with trying to get it removed. And we're not exactly sure, but we think that during the process of removal, I developed sepsis along the way, infection of the blood. And I got sent to the ICU. And I guess there was a doctor who had ordered a CT scan because they were actually looking for pneumonia. The CT scan revealed that I have like 2 small nodules in my right lung.
After Yumi became stable and about to leave the hospital with her new bundle of joy, the doctor reassured her that the nodules could be benign and recommending a follow-up a few months later, leaving Yumi to think that it's not a big deal and normal.
So 3 months later, July 31st, is when I got my second CT scan, a follow-up. And I remember I got it done on like a Thursday or Friday. It was like the end of the week. And then the following Monday, just a few days later, I get a call from a pulmonologist. And he says, you know, hey, just letting you know that we found the nodules again. They're still there. Good news is that they look stable. They haven't grown in size. But this could be a type of cancer based on the ground glass like edging that they have, the shape of them. And so it went pretty quickly from telling me, you know, we found these and they're still there, to they're cancerous and we have to talk about some options. And so it was just a few months ago that I found out that I have early stage adenocarcinoma, which is a type of glandular cancer in my right lung. Also, I think it hit my husband in a way where he lost his mother to cancer about in 2018, so 7 years ago. And for me, again, just thinking of the word and the associations with it and a lot of loss, I immediately thought of my daughter, and I think I kind of fast forwarded to visions of not being here for her, and that took a lot out of us. That day was a heavy day. It felt like a very, very heavy day.
Yumi's doctors led her to understand more about non-smoker lung cancer, specifically how it applies to Asian and Asian American women.
So I think traditionally when you think of lung cancer, you think of causes due to tobacco use and like chronic smoking. But from what I understand and what I've been told, there's been this growing number of Asian females, non-smokers, who have been getting diagnosed with this adenocarcinoma. From what I understand, screening for lung cancer is not common if you're a non-smoker.
Lori Sakoda, a Japanese-American research scientist and epidemiologist with Kaiser Permanente, has been studying this issue.
Unfortunately, we don't know why the incidence is higher among never smoking Asian American individuals, particularly women, compared to women who have never smoked of other racial and ethnic groups. We're involved in a study called FANS. FAN stands for Female Asian Never Smoker, and it's a study that is designed to identify risk factors for lung cancer, specifically among Asian American women who have never smoked.
Dr. Sakoda is hopeful that the FAN study can someday lead to early detection screening.
By identifying risk factors for lung cancer among those who have never smoked, we can identify a subset of the population who is at higher risk for developing this disease and could be recommended to undergo screening in the future. But currently, we do not have enough data to support screening for individuals who have never smoked.
My thoracic surgeon, Dr. Velota, guesses that I've probably had it for the past 10, 15 years. Again, that's a guess, but perhaps it's that slow growing that's just been in me and just kind of hanging out right now. And he was saying that had it not been for the incidental finding, we might have found it maybe in the next 10, 15 years, 20 years from now, and at a later stage, of course. But I'm completely asymptomatic. I really would not have known had it not been for kind of the random occurrence at the hospital.
We wish Yumi good luck and hope Dr. Sakoda's research leads to early detection to help at-risk non-smoking Asian American women in the future. This is Greg Gloria for Alec Yoshio McDonald for the Nichi Bei Cafe.
Thanks to Alec and producer Greg for that piece, and we hope that you were able to gain some insight into this illness. And just a reminder, you can read in-depth articles about these Nichi Bei Cafe segments in our community news publication, the Nichi Bei News. You can read about these people featured in this episode in the Health and Wellness Special Edition, which hits the street on October 23rd. So to do so, please be sure to become a member of the Nichi Bei Foundation, where you will receive your bi-monthly complimentary copy of the Nichi Bei News at www.nichibei.org/subscribe. Back to the episode. Next up, for our dessert segment, Nichi Bei News writer Tomo Hirai and producer Greg Valoria catch up with the family who have continued the legacy of a 100-year-old San Francisco Japantown institution, Soko Hardware. Known to many in the Bay Area for their standard hardware offerings as well as a mix of cultural offerings, we are proud to highlight this rare legacy business in SF Japantown. Enjoy our report from assistant producer Max Nihei.
On September 7th, 2025, the SF Japantown community was joined by the city of San Francisco in celebrating 100 years of Soko Hardware.
So here's to another 100 years.
Soko Celebration, produced by the Japantown Cultural Benefit District and sponsored by the Japan Center Malls, was part of the Nihonmachi Sheet Fair's Japantown Funk Concert. The Nichi Bei Cafe invited family members Phil, Eunice, and David Ashizawa to share their thoughts on 100 years of Soko Hardware.
Kind of creeps up on you. You didn't really think about it until everyone's talking about 100th anniversary.
Honestly, it probably feels like working like any other business in Japantown, just day to day.
You just kind of show up for work and then one day you find out, oh, it's 100. And you're just going, wow.
Well, I was reluctant at first. I really didn't want to do any big celebration thing. And I think what occurred out there was nice. It wasn't too much, and I was glad that we were able to get Supervisor Mahmoud.
This man did not want a celebration. It took the community to convince him to celebrate himself.
And Mayor Lori out here.
Today in the city and county of San Francisco is Soko Hardware Day. Congratulations.
Well, I was surprised by that Soko Hardware Day. I was thinking, what's a Soko Hardware Day? But okay, I guess it's official now.
It just happened to fall on this generation, but we certainly rode on the coattails of our previous generations that didn't have it very easy either. I feel very grateful to them.
Soko Hardware, Masaya and Nakai Ashizawa came in 1920, J-Town. Started Soko Hardware in 1925. We all knew where we were between 1943 and 46. They reopened in 1946 after the war. Those dates sound familiar? And then the father passed away in 1949. That's the same year that Mas took it over with Agnes. But also he did the work all the way until Philip took over in 1979.
I never knew my grandfather, but growing up, we had 3 generations in our home. So my grandfather, my parents, and then me and my brother and sister. So basically growing up with my grandmother, she would serve as babysitter And she would sit in the same chair that I'm sitting, in that same position where I sit now, right behind the counter. She was sitting there, and then they used to joke that my father took over her place, and now people are joking that I'm taking over my father's place. I spent a lot of my childhood in the store, you know, helping out, and then during high school, you know, I would work here, so that's probably when I would consider myself the beginning. I didn't really come here full-time until after college. After I graduated and working here, kind of realized, well, this is a pretty good gig. I might as well stick around.
I had very good mentors who kind of showed me and taught me how to do ordering. I mean, I just tried to see if I could bring in different things, make it better. I don't know, I never really thought of it as being anything but the hardware store. I know we had Lauren and David, and they were small kids. I would just help out around the holidays, probably, when they were busiest.
Soko Hardware has been at the heart of this block for over 100 years and has seen so much.
They have powered through some challenges like the internment and redevelopment.
If you look at their history, they were there, they were there, they were there, they were there. Any spot that was open didn't tell them to be open.
Originally, we were across the street on the south side of Post, and then we moved over into this physical location now, I think in the late 40s. And then in the 70s, we had to tear that building down and rebuild the building that we're in now. The original building on this location was, we had apartments above, and the main floor is selling area, and then we had a basement for storage. The neighborhood has changed because, well, mainly in my lifetime, is because of redevelopment. A lot of the older buildings were torn down across the street. The Japan Center was built. This whole Buchanan Mall right over here, all of those old buildings were torn down also. So the feel of the neighborhood changed quite a bit.
I just remembered we had so many more businesses other than restaurants, like more shops. It was just a different feel, different vibe, I guess.
The types of customers that we've gotten have changed. We used to get a lot more of the local Japanese businesses and the residents in the area. We don't have quite as much of that anymore, more of the local apartment dwellers and tourism.
I've heard you can find just about everything related to Japanese construction, homemaking, and more here. Soko serves this diverse community, providing Japanese goods and knowledge to everyone from builders, craftspeople, do-it-yourselfers.
I really don't have any plans to retire at this point. Kind of see how the business progresses, how my son, you know, if he wants to take over, and you know, how we can groom him for that position.
But I just wanted to say that not moving to David, who's picking up the mantle, the torch. I don't want to make it too much pressure here, David.
I think the biggest change is that I just steadily take on more and more responsibility in regards to the day-to-day function and running of the store. That's been the biggest change overall over time for me. Because so much of what our niche fulfills is so heavily dependent on international relations, it doesn't really make much sense to plan far out ahead because no one knows what's going to happen. Yeah, it's mostly just about day-to-day making sure we can open tomorrow, making sure that we have merchandise for tomorrow. That's pretty much all I'm concerned about right now.
I know it sounds cliche, but Soko Hardware would not be here today if it weren't for all of us here. The neighborhood is such a nice neighborhood, and we're very fortunate to be here in Japantown. I do want to extend my gratitude and thanks to my parents and my grandparents who really went through a lot. They shepherded the store through some tough times. Without them, then we wouldn't have had the store today. So Thank you very much, and I got to get back to work.
All right.
You can find Soko Hardware on the corner of Buchanan and Post Street in SF Japantown. Its hours are Tuesday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. This is Max Nier for Tomohirai and Greg Villoria for the Nichi Bei Cafe.
A big thank you to Tomo, Greg, and Max for that segment. Now it's time for some News Bites, our segment where we present quick takes on some articles from the pages of the Nichi Bei News.
Next is our News Bites, highlighting events over the past month or so, including stories from the pages of the Nichi Bei News.
California Governor Gavin Newsom appointed Ai Mori, a former Minami Tamaki LLP law clerk and staff attorney, a San Francisco County Superior Court judge September 18th. Mori is a member of the Asian American Bar Association of the Greater Bay Area, who worked as an intern on the landmark Soko Bukai case against the San Francisco YWCA, which ultimately led to the settlement of what would become the home of Nihonmachi Little Friends. Ai Lam assumed her position as J-Sei's executive director on August 4th, after Diane Wong retired from the nonprofit based in the San Francisco East Bay. Lam most recently worked as a diplomat for the U.S. Agency for International Development around the world, overseeing programs on social and economic development. Artists and community activists gathered October 11th in SF's Japantown to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Japantown Art and Media Workshop. JAM's origins were first conceived in 1974 by Boku Kodama, Gail Aratani, Richard Tokeshi, and the late Wes Senzaki, all of whom offered their artistic skills in the name of social and political causes in J-Town and across the Bay Area. The festivities started at Studio Gen before concluding at the National Japanese American Historical Society. Art from JAM Workshop's artists are on view at Ninjas at 1684 Post Street and at Studio Gen at 22 Peace Plaza, Suite 505, second floor in SF's J-Town. For more information, visit ninjas.org. On October 4th, the Nichi Bei Foundation organized the 4th biennial pilgrimage to the former Wakamatsu Tea and Silk Farm Colony, the first sizable settlement of Japanese in America. More than 275 attendees from throughout the state traveled to remember the legacy of 22 Japanese colonists who were pioneers of the Japanese-American experience, forming a tea and silk colony in Gold Hill, present-day Placerville, California. The pilgrimage featured an unprecedented gathering of 8 descendants, including 5 who originated in Japan and 1 from the East Coast, who were recently discovered as descendants of the colony. A day before the pilgrimage, 4 descendants of colonists Sakichi and Nami Yanagisawa made their own pilgrimage to the Green Lawn Memorial Park in Colma to discover the final resting place of their ancestor. Rise and Resist, a community action, was held on October 18th at the former location of the Tanforan Assembly Center during World War II, calling attention to the historical parallels between the experiences of Japanese Americans and current violence against immigrant communities. Tsuru for Solidarity, in partnership with the San Francisco Japantown community and Bay Area Japanese American organizations, called on our communities to say no to new detention centers in Northern California and across the U.S. The Tanforan Assembly Center served as the unjust detention center for nearly 8,000 Japanese and Japanese Americans during World War II in 1942. The gathering stood in solidarity with immigrant communities targeted by what they call racist and inhumane state violence, while fighting to remove ICE.
Kodomo no tame ni. There are children, set them free.
Longtime San Jose Obon choreographer Reiko Iwanaga, known by her dance name Hanayagi Reimichi, was recently bestowed a bevy of local, regional, and national honors. At the San Jose Obon in July, she was presented with the Consul General's commendation by then Consul General Yo Osumi. In September, Reiko received the prestigious 2025 National Endowment for the Arts National Heritage Fellows, the nation's highest honor in the folk and traditional arts, at an award ceremony on September 17th at the Library of Congress's American Folklife Center in Washington, D.C. And on October 17th, she received the 2025 Image Hero Award from Contemporary Asian Theater Scene at their annual Silicon Valley Asian Pacific Film Festival. For more up-to-date news like this, please be sure to subscribe to the Nichi Bei News, carrying on a legacy of 125 years of community leadership through media at nichibei.org/subscribe.
The first bloom of dawn, blooming open like the wings of a butterfly. We heard the music of the Kulantang from the Isla de Villa.
Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for our 10th episode of Season 4. We hope that you enjoyed what we, and of course all of our featured chefs, cooked up for the cafe menu today. At this point, we want to give a big thanks to the Henry and Tomoye Takahashi Charitable Foundation for their continued support of the cafe. We're always appreciative of our collaboration with you in finding new ways to engage our Nikkei community. We also thank you for continuing to support our YouTube channel and hope you enjoy our future content featuring our Japanese and Japanese American community. So please continue to support us by telling your friends, family, and loved ones to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this episode, and comment down below. And to stay in the know of more happenings in the Japanese American community, please consider becoming a member of our Nichi Bei community to help support what we do here at www.nichibei.org/subscribe. A lot of things are happening in the community. Next up, we will present a calendar of upcoming events.
Join us for the 8th annual Nichi Bei Night with the Sacramento Kings. Watch the Kings take on the Houston Rockets, happening live at the Golden One Center. Experience a pregame performance by the Sacramento Taiko Don. Order your tickets by November 6th for best seat selection. It's a night celebrating community, culture, and basketball.
For our chef special, we interview in, oh, nope, sorry. Today we are, nope. Went to Jankenpo Gakko. Jankenpo Gakko. Yeah, I've said this word before. Which hits the street on September 25th. AWCA, which ultimately led to the settlement of what a San Francisco court, of Japantown Art and Media Workshop. SF's Japan, who were pioneers of the Japanese American colonist Sakichi for nearly 8,000, sorry, that didn't feel right, at Nichi Bei. It's like right at the end every time today.